Now we're going to go through the uploading of leads files invoice workflow. So first we're just going to upload a single file with a single invoice, and then after that we're going to upload a single file with multiple invoices. And the way that that's indicated in the file is just with different invoice numbers for the line items. Of course, that will be more detailed when you learn more information about leads files. So for now we'll just upload our single file with our single invoice inside. So as you can see, it doesn't have any errors. It's ready to submit. It gives me the option to either delete it or submit it. I can also click into here to see, okay, there's only one single invoice there. A little bit of information. I can click into it and see an invoice preview of the invoice and what the client will see. As you can see, it says submit invoices. Now there's only one invoice here, but I can either click submit here, or I can click submit here. One thing to note, before you click submit, if there's any attachments, the firm would have to add those before clicking submit. There's no way to attach after, so they can either attach here or with inside the invoice here by clicking edit attachments, or this paperclip as well on the individual invoice. In any case, I'm going to click submit, and now it's waiting for the client to accept. And just like with manual invoices, I can always cancel the invoice. I just have to get to the button either here, so under uploads, and then the file, and now I'm here at my invoice list screen. I can cancel all the invoices, or I can find it on track invoices and cancel it there, but only while it's waiting for the client to accept. And just one more time, we don't know how long it takes for the client system to start pulling it in and validating it. And then of course it changes to pending client approval, and then it's up to the client after that whether they manually select approved, rejected, or paid, or oftentimes it can be rejected automatically by the client system as well. All those things are controlled on the client side. So there's that invoice. Now we're going to see what it looks like when we have a file with multiple invoices. And there are 3 invoices in here. One of them is going to have an error, but the other 2 aren't, and so it's going to look a little bit different. So it still says ready to submit. Now there's an issue with Collaborati right now, so I'm not able to show you what normally it would look like. When there are no errors and for the file, the status will be completed after you submit it. But when there are errors in what we call a batch file, again, that's when there's multiple invoices in one file, it should normally say completed with errors. But for right now, the only indication that there is an error is this red exclamation mark here to the left. But that should change, so just be looking for that to say completed with errors once that's fixed. So we can at least see here that there's a red exclamation mark, and then we can look in and see. Now we're only able to see the invoices that did not have errors in this list. The one that does have errors is not viewable, but we can view the errors here, and it says our client matter ID, which is the client matters number, is invalid. So it's very important to know that we can click submit here, but that would not submit the invoice that had errors. The user will have to resubmit that invoice separately if they click submit now. Or they could just delete this, fix the second invoice, and then upload them all again. So we do encourage users to separate the invoices as much as possible so they can keep track of the errors if they feel a little bit uncomfortable about that. So here I can show you what that looks like. We'll submit, and it's waiting for client to accept, but it can only wait for those invoices that do not have the errors. And this invoice that does have the errors, you can see the invoice number here, you will not be able to find it anywhere. You will not be able to find it in track invoices because the system doesn't really have it anywhere because it wasn't in the proper format. So that's just an important thing to note. But essentially, all of the statuses are going to be the same for manual or uploads. It's just that there's this extra step of the actual file itself and kind of drilling into the file here. Sometimes a little more investigation is needed or a little more understanding about what's happening, and definitely understanding the difference between the file versus the invoice itself is pretty important. That concludes our invoice upload workflow.